In the early morning of June 30th, 2009, two men were shot and killed while standing outside of a bar, the other place, in Greenville, North Carolina. Early in the night, there'd been a dispute inside of the bar that eventually led to a fight breaking out between the patrons and bouncers.
The state would have had the jury believe that after the fight in front of the club, James got up, he ran to the BMW, he reached into the trunk, pulled out a gun, jumped into the driver's seat, sped towards the other place. He reached across this BMW 6 to 8 inches out the window, the passenger window, and opened fire into this crowd of bystanders while he was also driving a car.
Several witnesses were interviewed and presented with lineups to identify the shooter. No one identified James as the shooter or as a passenger in the vehicle.
My name is James Richardson, and I've been incarcerated for 14 years for a crime that I didn't commit. I grew up in Greenville, North Carolina, and I lived in KP, which is Training Projects. Growing up, we didn't have a lot, but my mom did the best she could do, given the fact she had, 9 kids. I always knew that I wanted to, do something with myself and get out of the projects. I want to be that one that the kids, like younger kids, could look up to. And so I started playing basketball, and it doesn't matter what I was going through, I would forget all about it once I'm on a basketball court. So I ended up getting a scholarship to go play ball in college, and then I ended up going playing overseas. It was just something that, it was just like a dream come true, because I'm getting paid to do something that I love.
But what really happened on June 30th, 2009? There was a fight outside the club. After James broke away, he got in the gold Cadillac and drove to Daryl Powell's house. Daryl Powell was James' alibi witness.
They got into an altercation, and you can tell he was a victim. He came to my door. I went to the door, and it was him. But when I opened up the door, like I said, his shirt was bloody, face all messed up. And they handed my keys to me. Then he was like, "I'm gonna call you when I get my phone." Yeah, I gave him my key to drive the Cadillac. That's when he drove it. Yeah.
The prosecution claimed that James drove the white BMW during the shooting. Daryl testified that this could not have been true because James dropped off the Cadillac within minutes of the fight. James gave no indication that he even knew a shooting occurred. The case against James Richardson: surveillance footage, ballistics evidence, eyewitness testimony. In court, the prosecuting DA Clark Everett put the surveillance footage on screen and argued.
And they're wearing a white shirt, and it's not a V-neck, it's a white shirt. And how many people are in that vehicle? How many? I'm gonna tell you. If you can see somebody in there, especially with a red hat, and you see how far over this person is in the vehicle, there's no one else in there, folks. No one else.
And when I saw that picture blown up on that big screen, that to me was the turning point in the trial.
So very often in a homicide, the police will actually take the DVR and do a forensic image of the DVR. In other words, they'll remove the hard drive and they'll forensically extract every byte of data. What they did was they just took an export from the DVR instead of, they took the composite, which is the easy route. On its own, it doesn't really mean anything because it's not clear, it's not original. You can't identify the people, you can't identify the car, you don't know how many people are in it. I have to look at it from what I have seen as far as data presented to me, and the data presented on its own is basically worthless.
That if the jury had known that the images were so severely corrupted, it would have changed the outcome.
The prosecution tried to place James as the driver and the shooter of the car.
In this case, all the expended casings were located outside of the vehicle. Therefore, the weapon must have been completely extended outside the passenger window of the vehicle when the shots were fired. All of the witnesses agreed that the shots came from the passenger side of the BMW. I began with a scale model of a 1993 BMW 525i four-door sedan. I then added a 6'7" male avatar, and I placed that avatar in the driver's seat of the vehicle. When the shots were fired, his arm would need to be fully extended outside the vehicle, all while keeping the vehicle under control. This shooting scenario seems like a physical impossibility. This analysis is important because it conclusively establishes that Mr. Richardson could not have fired the weapon while driving the BMW. It does not matter how tall he is. It is not consistent with physical evidence.
2 weeks before trial, the state found a new witness, Vidal Thorpe. He became the key to the state's case. He was the only person who identified James in the car. The DA asked him, "And could you see his face?" And he agreed, saying, "Yes, I saw the side of his face." The defense found parts of Vidal's testimony perplexing, so they sent a private investigator to follow up. He admitted.
I don't even know why they had me testifying now.
Vidal was the only person to testify that James was the shooter. He now admits that he didn't see James's face in the car, and he doesn't know why he had to testify in court.
Detective Elks ignored the 2 most critical witnesses in this case for upwards of 18 months. Those witnesses were Brian Richards and Nicholas Golden. They were leaving the other place when the BMW started approaching and someone opened fire. They saw the shooter. They gave physical descriptions of the shooter, written physical descriptions of the shooter to responding officers.
A medium build, dark-skinned black male, dreadlocks, hat on, black shirt. This is James. And on June 30th, 2009, he was wearing a white shirt, basketball shorts, socks, and slides. There's no surveillance footage, no support from ballistics evidence, and no eyewitness testimony. What do we have left? A wrongful conviction. An innocent man in prison.
We go to church or wherever we go, he was always trying to help the older people or the younger people.
He's a very, very caring and compassionate individual, very likable.
You know, he never got in any fights or anything. You know, very strong-willed, strong mind. He want to make something happen, do something for himself, you know.
And then when I go to see him, how strong he is, instead of me encouraging him, he encouraged me.
That's my whole goal. You know, I feel like I was put on this, you know, this earth. God put me on this earth to help others. And that's just where I want to do.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
Free